What is up, though, Lions fans? We are back. You know, there is one thing that's always going to stand the test of time. The Motor City Cats, back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. This is the preview show. I don't know if you guys can hear that behind me, but somebody's dog is just howling and howling and howling. I don't know what it is. It happens once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I don't know if they've neglected the dog. I have no clue, but it's really loud. It's really annoying. So if you hear it, just know that that's something going on in the neighborhood. I don't know what it is. But anyway, as I said, this is the preview show. We are going to be breaking down the Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. There is good news on the horizon. I think everybody knows by now the injury report for the Detroit Lions is very, very scant, which is crazy, right? We just had guys on the field wearing name tags, and now everybody's back. Now, obviously, everybody doesn't include the people that are on IR. But next week, you're talking about Iffy. You're talking about Ennis Rakestraw. So more reinforcements are on the way because their IR stints are going to be ending this week. What is going on, Taylor May? Media, you said, is it a dog or a dingo? No, it's definitely a dog. A dingo would be just, they're wild. I actually saw one in the street, which was crazy. I usually see foxes and things like that, but I did see a dingo one time. But, Ennis Rakestraw will be back. Iffy will be back. Let's hope Iffy can play, man, because, Iffy is dynamic. But Trevor Nowatzki is the only one being out this week. On the injury report, he is dealing with concussion. So that means that Aleem McNeil is back. That means DJ Reader is back. That means Levi Onwuzurike is back. That means Josh Pascal is back. And suddenly, it looks like James Cook is going to have another 9 for 20 type of game. That's what it's looking like for the Buffalo Bills and their running game. It looks like it's going to be more on the legs and the back and the shoulders and the arm of Superman, Josh Allen. But before I get into that, we got a few things that we want to talk about. There has been a whole national media situation since the end of the Packers game. We're just going to put a bow on that before we move on. I got some sound, y'all. I got some sound. So the first sound we're going to look at today comes from none other than former Lions quarterback Dan Orlovsky. I feel like Dan Orlovsky is a little bit all over the place. I'm not sure where his allegiances lie anymore, and it all seems to stem from the end of that Rams playoff game. Okay, now 4 days ago, Dan Orlovsky came out and said that the Eagles and the Lions better hope that these Rams don't get into the playoffs. Again, I don't know what Dan Orlovsky is doing. I don't know why he has a bone to pick with the Lions. Maybe, just maybe, he has not been welcomed back into the fold. Maybe he's mad because Barry got a statue and he didn't. I don't know. But, Dan Orlovsky's most famous memory in Detroit is running out of the back of the end zone on his own, and Jared Allen pointing at him, laughing while chasing him. That doesn't happen. Okay? Runs out of the back of the end zone, causes a safety on himself, doesn't realize it, and he's still trying to go, and Jared Allen is just pointing and laughing. Now, he has some things to say, and let's get to what he had to say. All right, here we go.
What's one thing, Dan, that could halt a deep playoff run, maybe a Super Bowl run for the Lions?
Opportunity. You defensively give me, as an offensive person, plenty of opportunity to take shots downfield. If I was an offense going against the Lions, I love them. I take 3 shots a quarter. I take 3 shots a quarter. If you're
Dang.
going to continue to line up and play press man against me or any form of man, we're taking our shots. And as good as their secondary has been at times this year, they don't have 4 Darrelle Revises.
Right.
They don't have 4 Patrick Surtain Juniors. This is a group that is good, not great, and I would take shots at them all game.
All right, so I was supposed to kind of switch into my thing here. Yeah, okay. I didn't do that, but I'll do it for the next one. I promise you I will. So here's the thing. Dan Orlovsky is saying that we don't have 4 Darrelle Revises, we don't have 4 Patrick Surtains. At what point in the history of the National Football Team did a secondary have 4 Darrelle Revises, 4 Patrick Surtains, 4 Deion Sanderses, 4? You only have one of these guys at a time. Okay? You only have one of these guys at a time. Carlton Davis is not Darrelle Revis. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not Patrick Surtain. But since week 9, Carlton Davis, not Patrick Surtain, has been the best cornerback in football. He's had the best coverage grade per PFF, right? He's not letting up. He's, again, the best cornerback in football since week 9. We are in week 15. Okay? So for the last 6 weeks, he's been the best cornerback in the league. Now, Terrion Arnold, as a rookie in this league, the first year in this league, has the most man coverage snaps out of all cornerbacks in the entire NFL. So you're telling me that AG and Dan Campbell and boys trust a rookie cornerback to line up across either your best receiver or whichever receiver he lines up on, and they want him to lock him up man on man. They trust him, and his coverage, as I've said before, is super duper sticky. So you're telling me that this coaching staff trusts this guy as a rookie to line up against a receiver and eliminate him. Okay. So that's 2 things. We've got the best cornerback in the NFL for the last 6 weeks. We've got a rookie who has played out of every. So some of y'all might get this twisted. Some of y'all might not understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying amongst rookies. I'm saying every single cornerback in the NFL trails Terrion Arnold in man coverage snaps. You are not putting a man in man coverage that often if you don't believe in his ability, if he hasn't shown his ability to you to be able to handle that type of a load. Patrick Surtain is not in man as much as Terrion Arnold. Understand this, okay? So Dan Orlovsky, okay, I was gonna pull up his stats, and we know Dan wasn't a very good quarterback. We know that. I think he was a 6th round pick out of Kentucky or something like that. But we know Dan wasn't great. So there's no need for me to beat a dead horse. We know. Okay, I don't need to bring up old scars and open old wounds. Dan Orlovsky wasn't great. We loved Dan Orlovsky in Detroit because when he went to the media, he was pumping his chest. He was beating the drum for the Detroit Lions. So TaylorMade Media says, sounds like he's saying I'm going at Terrion Arnold all day, every day, period. No. So that's the thing. No, that doesn't make any sense. Again, that's what I'm saying. I'm breaking down this secondary just with common sense and understanding. Okay? Terrion Arnold is not someone, and I told you this before, TaylorMade, he's not being picked on. He's not being picked on. You don't get the most. Sauce Gardner. doesn't have as many man coverage snaps as Terrion Arnold. Terrion Arnold is the premier man coverage cornerback in the NFL as a rookie. As a rookie. Terrion Arnold. Arnold Island. Okay? He's given up in, let's say, what is this? Game number 14. Okay? So he's given up 41 catches. All right? How many touchdowns has he given up? 2? Maybe? Something of that nature? Just like last week. Okay, he gave up 2 catches on 2 targets for a total of 9 yards. So it's not the catch number, right? It's the yardage number. If you, bro, tell me as an NFL fan of any NFL football team, would you rather have a Jeff Okudah who gives up 2 catches on 2 targets for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns? Or would you rather have a Terrion Arnold that gives up 2 catches on 2 targets for 9 yards? Not even a first down worth of yardage. Okay? Now, he said if you have Branch and Joseph at safety and Carlton Davis III at QB, the logical choice is to go at Terrion Arnold, who has 0 interceptions. No, that's not the logical choice. How is that the logical choice? Good evening. Just a fan. What up, though? How is that the logical choice? The logical choice is to go not at anyone. The logical choice is to try to catch them in zone coverage, or, try to if they have 4 defensive backs, you're going to throw out 5 receivers, right? The logical option would be, let's take whatever the short underneath coverage is. Why? Because I'm about to tell you this other thing about taking shots. Okay? Taking shots against Kirby Joseph is stupid. Kirby Joseph is currently the league leader in interceptions in the NFL. Okay? Tied only with, McKinney from the Packers. Don't take shots down the field when you have a man who has 7 interceptions, right? So right now, his pace is an interception every other game. Don't take shots. He hasn't had one in a couple games now. So he's due. Don't take shots when that man is hanging out over the top. Then you got Brian Branch on the other side, who is leading the league as a safety in pass breakups. So Jeremy Reisman put out a tweet. Basically, it was saying that these numbers against the Lions, when you take deep shots, are not very good. Okay? And it got down to quarterback pressures and everything. Pass breakups, interceptions, quarterback pressures. It just bears out that Dan Orlovsky is completely wrong. He's completely wrong. He has no idea what he's talking about. And here's the thing. Dan Orlovsky is a former player. He's a former quarterback. Okay? He's a former quarterback. So he's supposed to know how to read defenses. This is where it becomes more asinine, and this is a point that I forgot to make when I was talking about Rob Parker and Teddy Bruschi. Where is the money? That is what I want to know. How much are you getting paid for these takes? Someone like Dan Orlovsky, whose job it is to break down defenses, and he's a good analyst. Right? Good talking head. And his thing up on there, right? So like now I'm looking at whatever that show that they're on. They've got 3 former players and some moderator lady. Okay? Those former players are supposed to give perspectives on, I played in the NFL. This is my, from my perspective. I played in the NFL, so now I can tell you what's happening. For a quarterback, it is particularly asinine for you to be able to look at a secondary and go, yeah, I'm going to attack one of their strengths 3-4 times a quarter. How many interceptions are you trying to give Kirby Joseph? If I'm Kirby Joseph, if I'm Aaron Glenn, and I know these people are now going to be taking 3-4 deep shots a quarter, how many interceptions per game is the question will Kirby Joseph get? How many interceptions per game is the question will Brian Branch get? Because now I'm just putting the ball up for grabs because they play a lot of man coverage. Bro, if they weren't good at it, that's the thing. If this was last year's defense, if this was last year's secondary, 100% take deep shots because Aaron Glenn likes to play man coverage and he doesn't have the horses for it. Last year we had Cam Sutton. Last year we had Kendall Vildor. Last year we had Jerry Jacobs. This year we don't have those guys. Kendall Vildor was in there for a game or two as a backup. Yes, not as a starter. Okay? Last year, Brian Branch was primarily in the nickel. Now he's a safety. Plays nickel sometimes, but we've got a dog-ass nickel and Amik Robertson. This is one of the best secondaries in the NFL. Do not just, we're just going to throw it deep. I don't get it, man. But, this tailor-made, come on now. Pat O'Connor played a game last week, bro. He played a game. Tackles for defensive linemen. I know you know this. Okay? A lot of stuff that you do to impact the game is not on the stat sheet. It's not on the stat sheet. If Aidan Hutchinson plays a game where he gets 13 pressures on the quarterback and he gets no sacks and no tackles, guess what he did? He moved the quarterback off of the spot 13 times that game. Other people got sacks because of it. Oh, and by the way, the quarterback was under so much pressure, he threw 2 picks that game. Come on, we know this. Come on now. I know you know this. All right. So that was Dan Orlovsky. Like I said, I wanted to get to that because I didn't, wasn't live yesterday. I'm not live on Thursdays. My schedule doesn't really bear it out. I mean, I can go live every other Thursday, but it just seems weird, right? To go live every other Thursday. Then the audience is like, oh, is he going live this Thursday? So I just don't go live on Thursdays. But Dan Orlovsky, man, it's again, follow the money. Where's the money? How much are you getting paid to have these takes? Because the takes just don't make sense. If I'm a former NFL player, and I'm not a former NFL player, I'm a former football player. So this is why when I talk about football, I like to know what I'm talking about, and I like to not say asinine things, right? If I'm in the barbershop and I say, well, Josh Allen sucks, okay, that's just me being emotional. When I come on the podcast, I'm not going to say no crazy stuff like that because it doesn't make sense, right? This does not make sense, okay? I can't do that to you. Justin Fan says evaluating the Lions' defensive backfield based on 2023 is nuts. Our 2024 roster is overhauled from 2023. Yeah, exactly. But he's talking about the 2024 roster. He's talking about taking shots against this current secondary. Ball hawking secondary. Okay? There are how many interceptions in this secondary? 15? Kirby has Kirby has, let's see, Kirby has 7, Brian Branch has 4, and Carlton Davis has 2. So there's 13 interceptions in the secondary alone. Okay. And we've played 13 games. That amounts to 1 interception per game from this secondary. That's what it amounts to. So if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. I don't have a problem with it. I'd love to see how many. And Josh Allen, we know Josh Allen in the past. Okay. The difference is Josh Allen is the same person. Okay. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Josh Allen not throwing as many interceptions as he has in the past, you tend to say, okay, well, this is a man who has had problems with turnovers. So now this man can revert back to that at any time. Maybe it's to your demise, or maybe it's to your downfall, whatever. But you have a reason to say this could happen. That's just why we say we're waiting for Sam Darnold to turn back into a pumpkin, because this could happen. He's had these problems in the past. This is a completely different secondary. You can't just assume that they're going to go back to the secondary of last year when we don't have any of the players from last year. We have Kirby Joseph, who was running around trying to plug in the holes. There's a hole here. We sprung a leak here. He's all like this because people aren't doing their jobs in front of him. Kendall Vildor is not doing this. Kendall Vildor actually did a better job than pretty much everybody else. Cam Sutton definitely didn't do his damn job. Jerry Jacobs definitely didn't do his job outside of the Packers game because he got cut. Right. So this is it's asinine. It's ridiculous. I don't know the reason why you're coming in talking about, oh, what's the way? Well, take deep shots, 3-4 shots a quarter, bro. Okay. Frank the Tank says Josh Allen will turn the ball over against the Detroit Lions for sure. Right. So with it's there's a reason to say that. Okay. Josh Allen is one of the best players in the league, no doubt, but he will turn, he's been this since he got into the league. He's been dynamic, but he's also been careless with the football. Shout out to Josh Allen and the coaching staff and everybody who's gotten him. I think he has 5 interceptions this season. So obviously last season he had 18. He's not on pace for that. Not nearly at all. Right? He's not even on pace for double-digit interceptions this season. But when someone has a history, you go, it's possible. TaylorMade said, I don't know how many INTs, but I know they've got 17 DPIs, so you can take some shots deep. Yeah, they got a lot of, because they play a lot of man coverage. That's why they have all those DPIs. But again, I told you this earlier in the week. They may have 17 DPIs, but they have more interceptions than they've given up touchdowns. They've got 13 interceptions. They've given up 11 touchdowns. So I'll take 17 DPIs, 13 interceptions, 11 touchdowns in 13 games. Okay? In 13 games, we're 12-1. That means we don't give up a. Caleb Williams was the first quarterback on the year to throw for more than 1 touchdown. He threw for 3 in 1 game. We've given up 11. 11 in 13 games. Listen to me now. That's not even an average of 1 per game. How many games did we go where people didn't throw any touchdown passes at all? Anthony Richardson didn't throw a touchdown pass. What's his name? Mac Jones didn't throw a touchdown pass. Who else didn't throw a touchdown pass? There were games in which people scored. Did the Dak Prescott didn't throw a touchdown pass? There were games in which people scored touchdowns, but the passes were not thrown to the end zone. Okay? So I'm just saying. Taylor Made Media says, so you're running man. Say you run man. Josh Allen sees it and takes off straight up the middle when the LBs go to the flat. This is our defense. We run man defense. We blitz a lot, and we have the horses to run man coverage. Every defensive back in our defensive backfield is a man coverage back. Every one of them. When Kirby Joseph plays in man coverage, he allows a 50 point something, quarterback ranking, a sub 40% completion rate. Like, it's just all the stats bear it out. And again, you have the evidence, not just the numbers. You have the evidence. Josh Allen is Josh Allen. Okay? Josh Allen, we have to have a plan against Josh Allen. And if you listen to AG talk earlier in the week, he said a couple of years ago, he killed us in the 2-minute offense. AG is going to put together a plan, or has put together a plan to stop Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen going to be completely neutralized? Is Josh Allen going to throw for 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, and have -5 yards rushing? Probably not. Okay? But Josh Allen is the biggest threat to you as a Detroit Lion. Josh Allen is the biggest threat. Not Keon Coleman, not Dalton Knox, not James Cook, not any of his weapons, not Khalil Shakir. None of these people are the threats that Josh Allen is. When you don't allow Josh Allen to throw it to Keon Coleman because he's plastered in coverage, and insert running back here, insert tight end here, insert wide receiver here, who's plastered in coverage because the coverage is so good in man. Okay? Then Josh Allen has to make plays with his feet. And yes, Josh Allen gashed the LA Rams twice for 30 plus on the ground last week. He also scored 3 touchdowns in the air and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He also accounted for 42 points. All 42 points that the Bills scored, he also lost. So there is no panacea, you know what I'm saying, for defense. It's going to be a collective effort. We're going to play our scheme. We're going to play the way that we play. And then that's the way that we hope to stop the other team. That's what you do every single week. Is Josh Allen more dynamic than any player that we faced this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is it going to be easy to stop Josh Allen? Absolutely not. Do I expect us to beat the Bills? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So Jesse Fan says, and he threw those touchdowns Johnny Stafford style after Bears behind, and he didn't win, just like Johnny Stat Patford. Frank the Tank says, play Josh Allen up the middle. Is it about to meet in man? Let him run. All right. So I got that part. And I just said he threw for 3 TDs and ran for 3 more and lost. I'm not telling you that Josh Allen isn't a menace. I'm not telling you that Josh Allen isn't a one-man wrecking crew. But let Josh Allen go off. Let him. It's just like Jordan. Let Jordan beat you. Let Jordan go off and limit everyone else around him. He'll go off for 63 points in Boston in overtime, but lose. I'm happy with that. I don't give a damn if we go back to Rich Rod, okay? Michigan versus Illinois, when Rich Rod was coaching the game, or was coaching the team, and we beat them 67-65. I don't care if you do that. I don't care if the score is 101 to 100. As long as you have one more point than the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen can do whatever the hell he wants to. Right? I'm not saying that Josh Allen is anything other than spectacular. I'm not saying that Josh Allen isn't their number one priority. I'm not saying that AG's defensive scheme is not built on limiting what Josh Allen can do, whether that is limiting him specifically or limiting everything around him. And what I'm predicting or what I'm thinking, just understanding football, you're limiting James Cook. Give him another 9 carry for 20-yard game. You're limiting Khalil Shakir. You're limiting Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's had some drops now. We know that. Okay, he's a rookie wide receiver. Sometimes the moment gets too big and he drops the football. Okay, we're limiting Dalton Knox. We're limiting the weapons that Josh Allen has, and we know that Josh Allen has no problem being Superman, and we're making him do that, and we're doing it to his detriment. Because if he thinks that he has to put the team on his back again, look, they just lost to the Los Angeles Rams, and then you go out and you see the Rams win a game in which they do not score a touchdown. Neither one of the teams on Thursday Night Football scored a touchdown. Shout out to Devondre Campbell for ending your career. Shout out to Devondre Campbell. Just, obviously, you guys have probably already heard Devondre Campbell last night on Thursday Night Football decided he wasn't going to go back into the game. He told the team he didn't want to play no more. He was butthurt because Dre Greenlaw came back and reassumed from Achilles injury, right, in the Super Bowl, reassumed his starting role. Devondre Campbell, who had got cut from the Packers last season, okay, now has an opportunity with San Francisco, and instead of being grateful and saying he got a $5 million contract and 95% of the money was guaranteed, right, and instead of doing that, he said, nah, I don't want to play no more. Butthurt because his position got taken, and took himself out of the game in the third quarter. And the funny thing was, well, not funny thing, but the unfortunate thing after that is that Dre Greenlaw had got nicked again, and Devondre Campbell wasn't unavailable because he threw a hissy fit. After the game, Travarius Ward said, I spoke to him. He's probably going to get cut. That's crazy. When a teammate of yours comes out and says he's probably going to get cut, you know you've done some wild stuff. All of this is in the media, and of course, Devondre Campbell was cut today. So, good luck, Devondre. I don't know that you'll get another opportunity in this league. You're going to have to go on an extreme mea culpa tour. You're going to have to do some psychiatric evaluation and be like, I was in a dark place. You're going to have to be on your knees begging teams now to give you another shot, be it a 1-year deal. Hell, even bring you into training camp because they know what you are capable of doing when you don't get your way. So shout out to them. What up, Lone Spoon? So Taylor May says, what happens if Josh Allen runs into somebody on the D-line and the training staff walks one of them off? Well, that would be called football. That's what happens, bro. All right, let me get to this other thing because I did say I have some other sound. Now, this time, okay, I got it, okay? I got it. I'm going to switch over. Okay, so we're putting a bow on the whole situation. Richard Sherman said something very similar to this, but his joint was long. It was a rant. He was basically ripping Teddy Bruschi a new one. So let's go to what Clarissa Thompson had to say about Dan Campbell, because she was on that Thursday night broadcast. Let's see what she had to say about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth down, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's do it this way. Boop, and then we're going to go boop. All right, here's Carissa.
It comes down to this 4th and inches play. Dan Campbell decides to go for it. You see Jared Goff grab the football and come back out, and you're like, wait, he's going for it? So I love it. Jared Goff is like, let's go, kind of a thing. Like, this is our team. This is who we are. Like, we're all in one way or the other. But all of these, like, individuals that I hear the next day on all these different shows, like, this is so risky. This is whatever. Who cares? That's his decision. That's his team. And guess what? Like, if he wants, he's made those calls in the past and they've bit him in the ass. If that's who this guy is, if that's who this team is, then cool. If I'm in that locker room, I am riding with somebody like that. Like, we die together, we win together, whatever it is that we're going to do. So I just found it so annoying that everyone thinks that they get to have opinions on situations that they're not a part of.
Damn. Okay. Shout out Carissa Thompson for eviscerating Tony Parker. Or not Tony. Oh, I might as well call it Tony Parker. But because there's another Tony Parker, we're not going to do that. So shout out to Carissa Thompson for eviscerating Tony Bruschi. Shout out, or Teddy Bruschi. Okay, I don't even know your name, bruh. I'm sure you don't know mine. I'm not going to diminish Teddy Bruschi. We know what he did in the league. But shout out to her for eviscerating him, and Rob Parker and Brian McFadden and there were others. There were others out there who had such a huge problem. Colin Cowherd had a problem with it. So many people, and obviously I understand Emmanuel Acho had a problem with it, and everyone is giving their takes in the national media. The good thing is that Detroit Lions are being talked about in the national media all the freaking time. So it's good for us content creators because we have a lot of people that we can go after and a lot of people that we can rebuff what they're saying and debate and all these things. But, shout out to her for actually understanding the perspective of the situation. I mean, she didn't break down the X's and O's of it. And maybe she'll do that on her podcast. I don't know. But shout out to her for telling everyone that you don't get to have an opinion in a situation that you're not even part of. Okay? Lions fans, we're part of the team in the fact that a lot of the people who get paid on the team come from the money of the people that are tuning in because they're Lions fans, that are going to the games because they're Lions fans. The TV deals that NFL gets comes from the fans, right? It doesn't come from just, you have a product on the field and everyone has nice uniforms. No, it comes from the patronage of the patrons, the fans who want to watch the game on television. Right? The vast majority of the games are watched on television. The viewership, you're not getting 1 million people. You're not getting 17 million people in Ford Field, but it was streamed in 17 million households. Right? So this is the type of thing that we are the reason that there is a product on the field. We are the reason that there is a broadcast on Thursday night, that there's a broadcast on Sunday night, that there's a broadcast on Monday night, that there are multiple broadcasts on Sunday. We are the reason for that, okay? So you don't get to have an opinion over something that you are not a part of. Facts, 100%. Lone Spoon says, can't change what got you to the dance. Correct. Frog Crop, what up, though, my guy? See, Taylor made, she didn't suit up in the locker room, but she said if she was in the locker room, that's the kind of coach she would like to have. I don't begrudge her for saying that at all. Okay? I don't begrudge her for saying that. All right. We got that out of the way. Let's get into this Detroit Lions versus Buffalo Bills game. Now, I started off the show by talking about the injury report. The injury report looks so much more promising than it did before. We know DJ Reader ain't practiced all week, and Lee McNeil was practicing, he was dealing with a concussion, and they've said it wasn't a concussion, it was more so I guess a setback from the jaw injury that he had against the Texans. Remember when he was over there after sacking CJ Stroud. So that happened. So the final injury report goes as this. Let me see if I can find it. Basically, the Lions have Trevor Nowatzki listed as out. That is it. Okay? Trevor Nowatzki is the only player listed as out. He's dealing with a concussion. That means that DJ Reader is back. That means that Josh Pascal is back. Levi Onwuzurike is back. That means that who else is back? Okay, those three didn't play. Taylor Decker is back. So the trenches largely are back. Okay, obviously the people that are on IR are still on IR. They're not coming back. Some of them are coming back. Some of them aren't coming back. Marcus Davenport, Derek Barnes, they're not coming back. Okay, Malcolm Rodriguez, he's not coming back. Aidan Hutchinson, possibly. As I'm live. Hold on, you guys should be able to see me now, I think. Yeah, I can see me, so you should be able to see me. All right. Yeah, sorry about that. My computer decided to take a dump. It decided to take a dump in the middle of me talking. But so as I said, the people that are on IR, they're not coming back. Derek Barnes isn't coming back. Bloody, bloody, bloody. So for us now to have the trenches back, for us now to have Taylor Decker back on the offense, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Pascal, DJ Reader, all of those guys back on the defensive line. James Cook was 6 for 20 or 9 for 20 against the Los Angeles Rams. I don't know why he wouldn't have a similar output, especially with Josh Pascal being one of the best defensive linemen as far as setting the edge. Preventing people from getting to the outside. Now you're going to have, James Cook trying to run up the middle. And then when he runs up the middle, he's going to run into Lee McNeil and DJ Reader. Also on the other side, we still have Za'Darius Smith. We have never not had him since he's been in the league. Za'Darius Smith is a top 3 defensive lineman as far as a top 3 pass rusher since he's joined the Detroit Lions. So with that being said, what do I expect this defense to do against the Buffalo Bills? Well, I expect them to have a hell of a game. A lot of the things that we're going to do we're now able to do them at the rate in which we were doing them before. Yes, we still have the losses in the linebacking room. We still have the huge loss of Aidan Hutchinson on the other side. Marcus Davenport was playing very well, but, he hasn't been on the team since week 3. Well, I mean, he's been on the team, but he's been injured since week 3. He went out in the Cardinals game. Obviously, Paris Johnson intentionally injured him, but nothing happened to him. Which is crazy, right? Now, Josh Allen. Someone mentioned before about, they commented in one of my videos asking me about a spy or hoping that we did a spy. So the thing with Aaron Glenn is he's not a spy guy. He doesn't, right? He doesn't put out spies. But what I will say is this. We have some different pieces now that we didn't have before. And both of these guys are fast. One of them is a former safety, so we know he's got more speed than a typical linebacker. And one of them is Quan Alexander, who maybe he's lost a step. Okay? He's been in the league 10 years. Maybe he's not as fast as he used to be. But with him having another week in this system, he'll be able to play faster than he did last week. With Jamal Adams having another week in the system at a new position, he'll be able to play faster than last week. So now when you have Josh Allen running around and you got Jamal Adams basically in the box as a linebacker coming downhill, and we know Jamal Adams has been a big hitter in his career, right? That may be something that deters Josh Allen. If you're getting blasted by Brian Branch and Jamal Adams, now Josh Allen is a very, very large human being. Josh Allen is what, 6'4", 6'5", 260, something like that, 250. Like he's a Cam Newton style human being. But even Cam Newton, took some hits. Now that they're protecting quarterbacks a lot more, you're not going to see Josh Allen take the type of hits that Cam Newton took. But the difference, not even the difference, in the same vein as Cam Newton, Josh Allen is a big physical running quarterback, right? When he turns into a runner, he turns into a fullback, right? He's not shying away from contact. He's not sliding. He's not doing these things. So now there is an ability, and I'm not talking about anybody getting hurt, but there's an ability where you can put a few hits on Josh Allen that may second guess him. So make him second guess himself as far as, do I want to pull this ball down and run the football? So if you're saying, I don't want to pull this ball down and run this football because I know I'm going to get hit, here's the first option. Well, I can run it, but I'm going to run out of bounds. Okay? So instead of that, you trucking somebody along the sidelines and you getting 20 extra yards, so it turned from a 10-yard game into a 30-yard game. Now you may just run out of bounds and take the 10 yards, right? Now you just may run out of bounds and take the 7 yards. And then you got, to get first down yardage after that. So it's just a dynamic that we can look forward to, because now that we have our de facto starting defensive line back, right, minus Hutch, minus Davenport, the guys that we've been running with for most of the year, now that they're all back, we have a better chance to stop or to control what Buffalo does up front. Buffalo's offensive line ain't great. That's just the long and short of it. They're not great. This offense runs through Josh Allen more so than I would say any other quarterback in the league. And the reason I say that is because, yes, every quarterback touches the ball on every single play. But Josh Allen is more likely to put it on his back if his weapons can't get open, if his weapons aren't catching passes, if there's any malfunctions with his weapons. If the play breaks down, if he does a scramble drill and nobody, uncovers and gets open for him, Josh Allen is going to be the one that's going to extend that play. Josh Allen, I believe, is the fewest sacked quarterback, or the least sacked quarterback in the National Football League, right? He gets the ball out quickly. However, if he can't get it out quickly, he's a big man. There are big men on the offensive line, on the defensive line as well, but he's faster and quicker than most of them. And he's able to get out of those tackles and get out of those sacks. So Josh Allen is someone that we are going to have to worry about. And I would surmise, and I would submit, not surmit. That's a combination of surmise and submit. But I would submit that Josh Allen is the only one that we have to worry about on the Buffalo Bills offense. Defensively, he's bigger than Donovan McNabb. He's more physical than Donovan McNabb. You know, Donovan McNabb was kind of big and slow. Josh Allen is that dude. He's that boy, as they say. Offensively, the Detroit Lions. One of the best rushing teams in the NFL. As I said before, Jahmyr Gibbs already has 1,000 yards, and he's played in 13 games. Last season, he was 45 yards or 50, I think it was 45 yards. 55 yards away from 1,000 yards. He didn't play in all 17 games. He played in 15, missing 2 of them. Obviously, you know how his season started. It started out a little bit slowly. Obviously, he was a rookie. They're working him into the situation. Right now, he's playing fantastically. He's averaging 5.7 yards per carry, and he still believes that he can play better. Okay? So that's the man they call Sonic, as Dan Miller says. Look for him to have a big game because the Bills are awful against the run. Okay, I think they're 31st or 32nd. I did have all the numbers up here before my computer crashed. Let me see if I can pull those numbers back up for you. 1 second. Because I like to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to say things like, hey, you know, there's a website where you can go and see NFL referee assignments. And I'm just looking at it right now, and it says Brad Allen is going to referee the next 7 games for for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, which is, look, it would be hard to find a referee or a crew of referees that are refereeing the same team twice in a row. The next 7 games is wild and crazy. But, you know, I saw someone say it before. All right. Okay, so I got the numbers back up. Let me see what y'all said in the chat. Did y'all like that one? Are they 4th in the NFL in total rushing yards? I think Philly probably has more. Baltimore probably has more. That would make them 3rd. Who else would have more? Who else is a heavy rushing team? Let's see here. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to put this on the other screen and not do what that just did because I don't want that like that. All right, let's see. It's here. All right. Nah, I have control of it. All right, so let's look at the defensive rankings. I will tailor-made after I do the defense. I will look for it. So the total defense, as we know, the Detroit Lions are number 10 in total defense. The Bills are number 14 in total defense. They allow 332 yards per game. The Lions allow 318. The Lions have given up 24 total touchdowns. The Bills have given up 31 total touchdowns. So they've given up 7 more touchdowns. Passing defense, Detroit Lions, as I said, they have gone down pretty far because of the injuries that they had up front. The Bills are number 9 on passing defense. They give up 208.9 yards per game. They've also given up 18 touchdowns. That's a big one. Remember, I said before, the Lions have only given up 11 touchdowns through the air. The Bills have given up 18. All right. As I said, the Lions are 23, or no, wait, they're 24 now. I guess the Cowboys leapfrogged them by 1 yard in the game that they played against the Bengals. Now, let's see. Rushing defense. Okay. The Lions are still top 5. Okay, they are exactly 5 right now. Ravens 82.7, Vikings 87.2, Chiefs 88.3, Steelers 91.5, Lions 93.9. Both the Steelers and the Lions have given up 12 rushing touchdowns. The Chiefs have given up 10. The Vikings have given up 7. And the Ravens have given up 11. The Bills on this list, okay, are number 19. Okay, they give up 123.1 yards per game, but the last 2 weeks they've given up 290 yards. Okay, they've given up 290 yards in the last 2 weeks. They've given up 10 rushing touchdowns. Okay, scoring defense, the Lions are number 2. Again, they're tied with the Broncos and the Eagles, both giving up, or all three giving up 18 points per game. The Chargers are number 1, giving up 15.9 per game. And as I said, Chargers have given up a total of 21 touchdowns. The Eagles a total of 25. Broncos a total of 23. And the Lions a total of 24. The Bills are 8th in total defense, 20.6. They've given up a total of 31 touchdowns. Red zone defense, the Lions are number 4. You have a 47.2% chance to score a touchdown against the Lions when you get into the red zone. The Bills are all the way down at number 16. You have a 54.2% chance to score touchdowns in the red zone when you get in there against the Bills. And we know our red zone offense is very good. So, yeah, look for us to take red zone trips to the house. Third down defense, of course, the Lions are number 1. You have a 31.3% chance to convert a third down against the Detroit Lions. The Bills' third down defense, 26th. You're 43.2% likely to convert your third down against the Bills. Okay, so as we can see, the Bills are kind of they're a decent defense, but the problem with the Bills, remember I said men lie, women lie, numbers lie too. It's everything lies to you. So you got to understand what you're looking at. You have to understand the eye test and all of these things that go with it. Let me get this chat here. So I'll get to your comments in a second, but the big thing that with the Bills play the most zone coverage in the NFL. Just like the Lions play the most man coverage, the Bills play the most zone coverage. If you go back, and this is where I became confident. When we started out this season, when we saw the schedule, I think when we were trying to find losses, because I think I had the Lions 14-3, and I was struggling to find 3 losses. And it looks like I was right up to this point. There were 2 losses that I had on the schedule up to this point, and that it was the Texans and the Bills. We obviously know what happened against the Texans. The Bills, this is where I became confident. Other than Josh Allen going completely nuclear, going completely Superman, and then losing the game, the confidence that I had was watching their zone coverage. Even in a shootout, even when they needed to get stops, they continued to stay in not even a tight zone, a loose zone. I was watching receivers catch the ball 5, 6, 7, 8 yards down the field with nobody around them, and then either the corner or the safety coming down over the top and making the tackle. Bro, if you give the Lions 7 yards with cushion, what do you think J-Mo is going to do? What do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to do? What do you think Sam LaPorta is going to do? What do you think Tim Patrick's going to do? What do you think damn Jahmyr Gibbs is going to do and David Montgomery going to do coming out of the backfield? The Bills have to reevaluate, and not just reevaluate. They have to change their entire defensive philosophy if they hope to stop the Lions' offense. It is hard to change your entire defensive philosophy in a short practice week. They had, I think, a couple of days where they couldn't practice because of inclement weather at their practice facility. So not only, I mean, you had a regular week to practice, but the Lions are coming off of 10 days rest. Okay, you're coming off of 7 days, and then a few of those days you weren't able to practice. So it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really difficult. And if you see any semblance of goodness on their defense, you have to give it up to their coaching staff, because they've done a phenomenal job of not having as much time as they regularly would, and then they have to change an entire defensive philosophy. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying it's very, very unlikely. So they're playing that loose zone style. I mean, you see what Puka Nacua did against them. Jeez. You know, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, both of them had, I think Cooper Kupp had 5 for 95. Puka Nacua had, what did he have? 12 for 160 plus, something like that. Like, Puka Nacua carved him up. He made some spectacular catches, but it was what it was. They were running so free in those zones that it didn't matter who you threw to. So if they're going to allow that same situation against the Detroit Lions, it's going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly really, really quickly. So let's see. TaylorMade, I did say that I would check that out for you, so I will. Let me get to your comments. Sick Argument says Josh Allen is the luckiest mobile QB in history. How he's avoided injury running as slow as he does is a testament to big bones and luck. I'm not. Come on, man. We can't say it's luck because someone didn't get injured. Did Barry Sanders not get injured because of luck? You know, it's just, you know, physiology, bro. It has nothing to do with luck. You know. He said he only runs a 4.78 40. His 10 and 20 yard splits are the same as Goff. Bro, if you saw Josh Allen running, would you make any comparisons between him and Goff? That's just it. I don't know about that one, man. All right. Justin says Brad Allen works for Vegas, not NFL, right? Bro, sure, I guess. If he can get into, and then the other thing was, you know, so if the Jets go on a little run, I'm just saying, but here's the thing. The Jets suck. They didn't go on a run. And Brad Allen, I don't know if he's reffed any Jets games this season. I would have to check. Maybe one. Damn sure not 7 in a row. That was asinine. But people believed it. No one questioned it. So TaylorMade Media says Bobby Babbage is a first-year DC. Maybe that's why they stayed in zone all night versus the Rams. Well, if he's a first-year DC, as I said before, he's going to have to get years of experience real quick, because if he's going to sit, it's not against the Rams. They are the highest zone coverage team in the entire NFL for the entire season. Okay? So here's the thing. Where was that injury report? Okay, hold on. Dan Campbell. This coming breaking news. Dan Campbell has a sick nickname for Lions defense that players are loving. The Detroit Lions have been one of the most formidable teams. Yada, 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 yada. So what is he calling this defense? Northern Savages. Yes. He said those guys just laid it on the line, man. We call them the Northern Savages. They just roll right in the door, man. They just roll right in the door, man. Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun. Northern Savages, man. Northern Savages. All I think about is you guys, man. All I think about is you Northern Savages, man. That's it. But you got to trust me, man. You got to trust me, Northern Savages. Yes, love the Northern Savages. I love it. You love it. The players love it. Jack Campbell is a savage himself. Hey, listen, and that's also, you're also sticking it to the Vikings because, Norsk, the Norsemen, okay. All right, I'm just saying. But I had the injury report. Let me see. I know for sure Rasul Douglas is out. Now, here's the thing. Guys, remember Rasul Douglas played for the Packers, a couple years ago. We have owned the Packers for the past few years. Rasul Douglas did make some plays against us, especially when they beat us last year at home on Thanksgiving. However, he's out. All right. There's the injury report. Okay, so Detroit only ruled out one player Sunday's game. That was Trevor Nowatzki. The Buffalo may also be down a few players on Sunday. The Bills only ruled out cornerback Rasul Douglas, but also listed 8 other players as questionable for this weekend. That list includes tight end Dalton Kincaid, safety Damar Hamlin. Safety Kincaid, I think, will play. Damar Hamlin is iffy. Multiple backup defensive linemen and backup offensive tackle Tylen Grable. However, they are expected to have wide receivers Keon Coleman, Amari Cooper, and Curtis Samuel, who've all been dealing with injuries in recent weeks. It didn't say anything about Taylor Rapp. I don't believe Taylor Rapp will be playing. And Taylor Rapp has a history of head injuries. I think he's wearing the Guardian cap in games. So Taylor Rapp even if he's in the game, he'll probably get dinged, and I'm not saying that wishing anything on, I'm just saying it seems like every Bills game that I've watched this year, and it's probably been about 3, it seems that he's going out. I watched the Ravens game, I watched the Colts game, and I watched the Rams game, and it seems as though he went out in all of those games, so he's one of those players that I guess doesn't protect himself. All right. Let me see. Lone Spruce says, did you see that the NFL allowed the Lions to paint the midfield logo black for this game? Yes. Did they not paint it black last game? I feel like they didn't. What they should have done is painted the end zones black. Just a fan says his first idea was Inuit cold playing Inflictors, but he felt it didn't sing. Inuits have 100 words for cold. I can imagine why. Yeah, it was blue last game. Yeah, they should have done. I know they have like some black trim in the end zone, but nah, man. I want those end zones black. Then we can say they can accuse us of hiding in the end zones. We couldn't see Kirby, man, because He was hiding in the end zone because his uniform was black. That's why Josh Allen threw 3 picks in the end zone. Yeah, so let me get to what I told you. I said I would check on that. So let me check on the offenses. Let's run down the offensive stats, just like we did the defensive stats. Where are they? It should just be really, really simple. All right, so go back to Fox Sports. Now the offensive rankings. Total offense, Lions are number 2, 390.8 yards per game, 51 total touchdowns. Obviously, 51 total touchdowns is the most touchdowns in the NFL. The Ravens, though they are the number 1 offense in yards per game with 422.5, they've scored 47 offensive touchdowns. The Buccaneers are number 3. To find the Bills, you got to go to number 10. So they're at 355 a game and 49 touchdowns. So they're only 2 behind the Lions as far as touchdowns. Passing offense, the Lions are number 4 in passing offense, 243.8 per game, scoring 27 passing touchdowns. The Bengals are number 1 at 33, 271.6 per game and 33 passing touchdowns. The Bills are number 12, 229.3 per game and 23 passing touchdowns. Rushing offense, the Lions are number 4. You are correct. The Commanders, that's crazy. The Commanders are number 3. So the Eagles are 190.5, 25 touchdowns. Ravens are 179.1, 17 touchdowns. Commanders 156.9, 23 touchdowns. The Lions are 151.1 and 22 touchdowns. The Bills are number 11 at 125.7 and 24 touchdowns. And we know that Josh Allen is a huge, huge component of the rushing. And I think he has does he have like 10 rushing touchdowns or something this year, or not 8 or 9, something like that. Scoring offense, Lions number 1, 32.1 a game. Bills number 2, 30.5. And as I said, total touchdowns 51 for the Lions and 49 for the Bills. Red zone offense, the Bills actually do have a better red zone offense than the Lions. They are 68.5%. Again, Josh Allen is a huge part of that. I think he has 8 to 10 rushing touchdowns this season. And the Lions are number 6, 67.3. So they are 1.2% behind the Bills. So it's pretty much a wash if you look at it that way. And third down offense, the Lions are better than the Bills. The Lions are at number 4. The Bills are at number 7. The Lions are 45.8%. The Bills are 43.4%. Yes. So, I mean, overall, the Lions have a better offense and a better defense, which means that they have a better team than the Buffalo Bills. My score prediction here. And don't really listen to me in my score, but I'm very bad at score predictions. I just looking at humans and the human error and all that, right? I don't do score predictions very well. I stopped trying to play Fox Super 6 because I'm like, bro, I never get these scores right. And it would be very difficult even though it's free, even though I don't have to put no money down, it's just like, whatever, you know? Maybe I should start trying to play again. I don't know. My score prediction in this situation is the Detroit Lions. Hold on. Let me, before I do that, because again, like I said, I want to be accurate in the things that I say. Okay. And you'll see what I'm saying. You'll see what I'm saying. because this is an AFC NFC game. Okay, going back to the defensive rankings. Total defense, the Detroit Lions are number 10, as I said before. The Los Angeles Rams are number 25. Okay? Passing defense, the Lions are, again, number 24. The Rams are number 17. Rushing defense, the Lions are number 5. The Rams are number 27. If a number 27 team in rushing defense, which allows 135.4 yards per game and is giving up 13 rushing touchdowns, if they can hold your starting running back to 6 carries for 20 yards or 9 carries for 20 yards, do you think that he can rush for 20 yards against the Detroit Lions? I'd say no. All right, scoring defense, as we said, the Lions are number 2, allowing 18 points per game. And the Rams are number 23, allowing 24.1 points per game. Red zone defense, as we said, the Lions are number 4. The Rams are number 8. So 50-50 proposition. You get to the red zone against the Rams. Third down defense, we know the Lions are number 1. The Rams are 18. Okay, so based off of the performance that they just had against the Rams, I am going to say my score prediction. Okay, I don't want to put this number out there, but I'm going to put this number out there. I am not a blowout guy. I don't really predict blowouts. I'm going to say 49 Detroit Lions, 24 Buffalo Bills. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. But at some point, you have to put your big boy pants on. And when you say that the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFL, and you keep saying that, okay, eventually you have to say it with your chest. Eventually you have to say it with your chest. 49-24, Detroit Lions, let's freaking go. Yeah, 49. Look, the Rams just put up 44 on them. The Rams just put up 44. The Rams have 2 people on offense that you have to be afraid of. Puka Nacua and freaking Cooper Kupp. Kyron Williams is good, right? But we've got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We have a 2-headed beast in the backfield. Let's see. Hold on. Again, let's look up some stats right quick. Because I just want to see what their rushing numbers are. I know Jahmyr Gibbs is over 1,000 already. Let's see. Do we have? I don't want to really go to another website. Let's see. Detroit Lions. Hopefully it gives me stats here at Fox. Stats. All right. Monty's just under 800. So right now, Jared Goff has 3,265 passing yards. I thought it was Yeah, okay. 25 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs has 1,016 rushing yards. David Montgomery has 12 rushing touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown has 863 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns. Let's see. It's crazy. Hutch still leads the team in sacks. Jahmyr Gibbs has 1,328 all-purpose yards. So he has 312 receiving yards to go with his 1,016 rushing yards. We are 15.1 yards per game on the ground, 24.3 yards per game through the air. We said that already. All right. We're 45.8% on third down, but that doesn't really matter because we're going for it on fourth, and nobody else has the right to be involved in it, to have an opinion about a situation that they're not involved in. All right, let's see. So David Montgomery has 771. Okay, so 771. We're almost at. Well, we're almost at 1,800 rushing yards. We've got 4 games left. Do you think we get 2,000 yards? Okay, so I'm just saying. Let's see receiving yards here. Amon-Ra has 863. Jameson has 710. Sam LaPorta has 445. Sam LaPorta don't look like he got any yards. I'm just saying. He looked like he had about 200 yards this season. Tim Patrick, 349. Jahmyr Gibbs, 312. David Montgomery, 310. 312 and 310. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. You remember the screens that the Rams were coming out of the backfield with against the Bills? And I'm just saying. We did a lot of screen game against the Green Bay Packers. Okay? Jahmyr Gibbs this is what I forgot to look at. Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging 5.7 yards per carry. David Montgomery is averaging 4.3 yards per carry. If you give the football twice to Jahmyr Gibbs, it's a touchdown. A first down. If you give the football 3 times to David Montgomery, it's a first down. I'm just saying. Jameson Williams only has 56 rushing yards, and I think that's a travesty. Okay? Jahmyr Gibbs attempts, they are dead even. Jahmyr Gibbs has 13.7 attempts per game. David Montgomery has 13.8 attempts per game. Jahmyr Gibbs has 178 attempts. David Montgomery has 180. They are 2 attempts apart, which is crazy. It's phenomenal, right? Jahmyr Gibbs averages 78.2 yards per game. David Montgomery averages 59.3. Jahmyr Gibbs is long as 70. David Montgomery is long as 21. I'm just saying. All right, just a fan. We will catch you next time. Hopefully, we'll see you at the watch party or the live stream, whatever you guys want to call it. Splitting the rock, just like almost exactly 50-50. Sick Argument says Gibbs is 13th among all receivers in Yak. Yeah, I can dig it. Said, why not just go with 95, same as Pat O'Connor's uni, and be done with it? Oh, man. So Lone Spoon says 49. Wow, that's big. I really don't think that the Bills will be able to slow down the Lions' run game, but I don't think the Lions score 49. You have 34-20 Lions. The only reason that it wouldn't be 49 is because it would be heavy run game. I mean, if you're gashing these guys for 6-7 yards per carry, why pass? You know what I mean? Why pass? So if it's that kind of thing, I can see. Listen, the last time they wore the blacks, and I'm not into this at all. I'm not into superstitions. I'm not into this. Wearing this color means you're going to perform this way, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's just their mindset, the blackout mindset, the whole thing that they do. It's a whole production when they wear those uniforms. They scored 42. I'm just saying. They scored 42. So I don't see any reason, especially looking at this Buffalo Bills defense. They're not very good. Okay? Men lie, women lie, numbers lie. The numbers that you saw for the Buffalo Bills defense, like if you look at playing the Patriots, if you look at playing the Jets, if you look at playing the Dolphins, and you get two of those per year, that's not good competition, right? So then what's the context of those numbers? Because the Rams are they're on a heater like they were last season, right? And that's the funny thing. Dan Orlovsky's like, oh, the Lions and the Eagles better pray they don't see these Rams. Bro, it's the same team as last season. It's the same type of freaking heater. The same one. That's all I'm saying. But guess who was playing last season? Aaron Donald. I know their defensive line is good, and they've got the Jared Verse, who I wanted in Detroit so badly. Pause. I understand all that, but it's the same trajectory. It's the same one. So why should we be any more concerned about the Rams this year than we were last year? If we have to play them in the playoffs, guess what they are this year? In our way. Guess what they were last year? In our way. Ain't nobody scared of the Rams. For what? What do we need to be scared for? We had the same scenario last season. The same one. You look good, you play good, you get paid good. Don't forget that part. Yeah, so I'm not afraid of the Rams, bro. Like I said, Dan Orlovsky, whatever healing you need to do, bro. Whatever bone you have to pick with the Detroit Lions, stop saying you love the Lions, because lately, okay, since that Rams playoff game where you picked the Rams to win, since then you seem, and everybody was surprised that you picked the Rams to win. That's the thing. Everybody was surprised. Like Dano, not our own Dano. Why? A2 Dano, A2 Dante. You know what I'm saying? A2. Come on, bro. Get off that. But yeah. So what was my score prediction? 49-24. I mean, I really just think that the Lions are gonna they're gonna go out before the game. They're gonna have a meeting with Josh Allen at midfield. They're gonna put the cape on his back and they tell him, you do it. And if you can do it by yourself, which you couldn't do it last week against the Rams, if you can do it by yourself, go do it. Now I know they were down quite a few weapons, but as I started off talking about Dan Orlovsky and what he thinks about this secondary and what I think about this secondary and what I've seen from the secondary, I'm not worried about the weapons that they have, because one, they're not all going to be on the field at the same time, and two, if they are, we have the horses to cover them. That's all I'm saying. Will we give up some yards? Yes. Will we give up some plays? Yes. We did the same thing against Seattle. What was it, 42-29? We gave up yards. We gave up plays. But at the end of the day, the scoreboard said 42 for the Detroit Lions and a dub. And it said an L for the Seahawks. Lone Spoon says, yeah, not really buying being afraid of the Rams. If all they did against the 49ers was 12 points, they don't really have the offense to keep pace with the Lions. So, I mean, when I look at, again, we know you, we hate you, we want to ruin your season. When I look at, one, it was a divisional game. Two, it was a Thursday night game. The only reason that you saw the game between the Lions and the Packers that you saw on Thursday night game is because they had both teams had a full week of rest. They had a full week of preparation. It was a normal week. It was just Thursday to Thursday instead of Sunday to Sunday. So the reason that the product is so bad on Thursday nights is because short weeks, not a lot of preparation time. Not a lot of guys have healed up for the whole week like they're used to. Their bodies aren't in it. There's fewer practices. There's a lot more walkthroughs and things of this nature. So the teams just aren't as sharp. So the Rams just came off a game where they put up 44 points, and they had to do that to win because their defense couldn't stop the other team from scoring 42. The 49ers just came off of a game where they put up 38 and gave 13 to the other team. And neither one of those offenses looked like it did the previous week. So I chalked that up to it being a divisional game and, to them just having played on Thursday or Sunday. Sorry, short week. Oh, no. So, again, 44, 4 days before. That's all I'm saying. I mean, 44, 4 days before. I think I would say if I didn't know anything about the Rams this season, I would say it's somewhere in the middle. I would say 44 is really high. 12 is really low. It's probably somewhere in the 20s, 28 points, 24 points, something that they could that they could get regularly. You know what I'm saying? Because 44 is a lot, and 12 is a little bit. Okay, I mean, look, it's a game in which not a single team, and I say not a single like it's more than two teams, but neither of the teams scored a single touchdown. Deebo Samuel probably could have scored, but he dropped it because he's not tripping. He's just not getting the ball. Yeah, I mean they get look. We Americans are sick. You know what I'm saying? We love NFL football. Even if you put the products that you've been putting, the only thing that I don't watch, and that's because I'm not in the States and I'm not about to change my sleeping schedule to watch the international games. That's it. Because the international games come on at like 1 a.m. for me. And if it comes on at 1 a.m. and then the other games start at 5 a.m, well, there's no way in the world. You know what I'm saying? So the important games, the ones that come on throughout the Sunday slate, and you always have the worst games. The only game that I did watch overseas was, I think, did the Jets and the Vikings play over there? And I watched it on, I watched the recording of it. I didn't watch I didn't watch it live. You know what I'm saying? I watched it in 40 minutes. So, yeah. We're going to give them the views. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean it's good product. I'm talking about football. So anybody that thinks that I'm saying anything else about product, I'm not. Okay, I'm talking about football. Yeah, this 100%. The eyeballs are going to be there. We're starved for football. Even in the off season, Game Pass has all these football lives and all this. I'm probably going to watch all that stuff. Just keep yourself connected with football 24/7, 365. So Jags and Panthers on a Thursday night. I mean, I would have it on. I wouldn't be paying attention because I think we had a one of those types of games a few weeks ago. It was just, I think it was, who was it? Like the Browns and the Broncos was a surprisingly good game. When did they play? I think that was a Thursday night or a Sunday night or something, but that was a surprisingly good game. I mean, Jameson threw for almost 500 yards. He was asking the Lord to deliver him from pick sixes because he threw a few in that game. I don't know. Like I said, have it on, maybe not paying so much attention to it. If the Jags are just a really bad team, bro. They're just bad. The Panthers are they're getting better. Bryce Young is developing, so they may have a coaching staff that's able to develop a young quarterback. We'll see. Unlike the Bears. You were rooting for a tie? Bro, I wasn't particularly tuned into that game last night. As it started to unfold, again, I had it on, but I wasn't impressed, Nobody knows if you're 3-8. It's not that they're 3-8. It's what you can see Bryce Young starting to do over the past few weeks. The game against Kansas City when they almost won. The game against Philadelphia when it wasn't Bryce Young's fault that Xavier Legette dropped the ball. And he would have just rolled in for a touchdown like that. You know what I'm saying? So you can see development unless you go, your record tells you that you're not making any improvements. Just like if you're number 95 and you don't have any tackles, then you didn't have a good game and you didn't have any impact on how the game turned out. You know what I mean? This is that type of thing. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It is Saturday for me. So Saturdays, I generally sleep in because I generally go to work at, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So I sleep in on Saturdays and I get started with my day a little bit later, around 1 o'clock. So I got to make a cut up from this. I don't even know what my cut up's gonna be. Maybe my predictions, because I did get rolling and then my computer crashed. But so I'm gonna go ahead and don't make tackles in church shoes. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I appreciate you once again for hanging out, for sticking around. One thing remains true. The Motor City Cats are back. But before I do that, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you share the stream. Make sure you let everybody know what is going on. If you got some stragglers that are left holding on to that other place, wondering where I'm at, make sure you let them know where I'm at. Reach out to them, DM them, tweet them, add them. I can't X them. That don't make sense, right? Gonna X somebody. That sounds bad, right? So just tweet them and let them know. Also, Sunday's game. Join me. We will be live streaming. We will be talking about the game. Lions versus Buffalo Bills. It's gonna be a blackout, y'all. Look at my background. I haven't changed the blackout theme because it was so legendary, bro. And everything about me is blacked out. And I stay blacked out. And I'm going to stay blacked out for the entire season, the off season. And you know what it is. The Motor City Cats, we're back at it. Came to give you stats, not static. Whatever you do. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. But if you want to take my advice, and you don't want to hear things about Brad Allen refereeing Aaron Rodgers for 7 straight games, if you don't want to hear stuff like that, you got to make sure that you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And we out. Peace.